Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Marriage Monday. I'm Gary Xavier. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of information about this phrase that happens during a marriage ceremony that we all say, and it always follows the vows that we say in a marriage ceremony. And it's the phrase, everyone knows it, I do. I do, period. Right? I do, period. It is a commitment that says, I'm going to love you in the future this way. And I'm going to do it till I'm dead. Till one of us is dead, I'm going to love you this way. And I find it very frustrating that when a marriage gets rocky, friends immediately around that marriage start to say, oh, he messed up, leave him. She messed up, leave him. As if it's that easy, as if it's that simple, right? We think we can just say, join ourselves to a person, completely encapsulate our entire lives to a person, and just say because they messed up, oh, kick them to the curb. It's not that simple. And even if it was a clear violation or a very clear case, we still, in our hearts, it is so difficult to do such a thing because it's almost as if we were a one person and now we're separated, right? That right there is incredibly powerful to think about. And that's because we've said, I do until I'm dead. And that right there is a commitment statement. And if you kind of have a money-back guarantee or a 30-day money-back guarantee, you kind of got one foot out the door. It means that you're not really committed to the survival of the marriage, right? So what it means is if you kind of analyze all your fights, think about the last fight you had with your spouse. Were you more interested in winning the battle, or were you more interested in the preservation of the marriage, the preservation of the relationship? Now, I am not sitting here like I've done this every time that my wife and I get into an altercation, okay? I'm not saying that at all. There's many times I'm just focused on what I want, but I have to remind myself, I have to train myself, and I have to rely on the fact that we both said it is the marriage that matters more than just our individual egos and our individual desires. And that right there is completely counter to what we're being told in our culture today. It's really like, you get what you want. Once they're uncomfortable, kick them to the curb. Now, I know it's not that simple, but I know a lot of people kind of look at it this way. There's some research that came out a while back in 2012 out of UCLA. Some researchers actually gathered about 170 plus couples over an 11-year period, and they really studied the level of their commitment to the marriage. And they asked them questions based on their level of commitment and the language they used about that relationship. And 78% of those 170 plus couples were married at the end of it, and that 27 or so percent were not married at the end of it. And those couples that were not married, they really had kind of a me focus going into it. Now, I know that seems very simple, and I know that seems like, oh, that's a very easy thing. Well, of course, if you're selfish, the marriage isn't going to work, right? But the reality is those other couples, they made a decision, and they stuck to the fact that no matter what happens, we're going to work through this. No matter what happens, we are not going to kill this thing. Right now, there are certain circumstances where it just dies. And I wish it didn't die, but there are certain circumstances where someone's life is in danger, where there's just an incredible amount of risk that goes into this, and it ends. Obviously, that person doesn't care about the survival of the marriage. But when you have two people and one person messes up, and they're willing to fight for the marriage, and the other person says, I am willing to fight too, then we hammer through those problems together to keep it there, to keep it surviving. Now, I know this is a sensitive topic for a lot of people. Maybe you're in the middle of a divorce. Maybe you're in the middle of thinking about getting a divorce. Maybe your spouse is just driving you freaking nuts, right? But the question I have for you today is, what did you really mean when you said, I do? Did you mean, I will love you forever until I'm dead as long as it's good for me? Or did you really mean, I will love you no matter what, even if you frustrate me from the morning till the nighttime? So I just want to challenge us as married people and as husband and wives, and if you're thinking about getting married and you're engaged, you think really deep. When you're about to step out up there and you're about to say all those vows are about the future, and you're about to say, I do. Will your I do be an I do? Or will your I do be a maybe? Or a, if it works out for me, then I do. So just really examine the fact that when you make that statement, that is a statement that means you're fighting for the marriage the entire time. So if you disagree with me, leave a comment. Leave a comment below. I love the dialogue. Please show some grace to me, because I'm trying to be sensitive about it, but I'm also trying to be direct. So if I've offended you in any way, I'm sorry, but just leave that message below and let me know so we can dialogue more about it, okay? Thank you very much for watching. I hope this was kind of something to think about in your own relationships, in your own marriage, and we'll talk to you soon. See you tomorrow. Bye.